You guys are watching NFL Daily, presented today by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. If you're hiring for your small business as the calendar winds down, make sure you get the right people applying for your job. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. It'll be in the comments section and the description. Big ups to LinkedIn for sponsoring today's show. We're doing what my boy Matthew Peterson did earlier this week. It's 5 trade destinations for top trade candidates because you guys loved it. One of our most popular videos this week. So we'll do it again. 5 different names here. Now we're picking 5 different players, of course. So of the 5, who is most likely to be traded? This will be the pinned comment, by the way. BC for Brandin Cooks. CC for Chase Claypool. IW for Isaiah Wynn, DP for Daron Payne, or MD for Marcus Davenport. Drop your prediction, or your guess, I suppose, in the comments right now. We'll go and start with Brandin Cooks, who I remain unconvinced actually gets dealt, although some of the stuff this week about, he wasn't at practice Wednesday, vet rest day, and then, he missed his press conference, he had a workout. It's kind of a little bit suspicious there. Here's why I'm not sold on Cooks being dealt. Despite being productive over the past few years, Texans being bad, etc., Houston just paid Brandin Cooks when they did not have to. They could have not paid Brandin Cooks and gotten basically the exact same they would have gotten in a trade right now. So all they would have done is cost themselves draft cap or actual monetary capital. With the way the contract works out, a trade of Cooks saves Houston $1 million or so this year. That's prorated out from the overall 1.64, so it's a little bit of a wonky math there. They save $10 million next year. He's got an $18 million cap hit for his new team. They just paid him. And teams don't normally pay a player in the offseason when they did not have to and then end up trading him a couple months later. If they do, some destinations far from the only list. I'm sure the Cowboys could also fit on here, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit between the 2 receiving lists. The Ravens, the Rams, wouldn't that be fun, right? I almost put the pages on here too, just to be silly. Chiefs, Packers, the Giants, though, are a really fun fit for Brandin Cooks because they're buyers right now. They need more receiver talent. Because Houston just paid Brandin Cooks, I'm going expensive on this trade. Houston gets a second-round pick back for Cooks. I don't think they will give him away, but a second-round pick might be just enough to make a deal happen. Our next receiver is Chase Claypool. Pittsburgh allegedly wants a Christian McCaffrey-esque package for Claypool, which does not make sense to me. That is way too much money, or way too much capital for a number 3 receiver on their team. I think Pickens is better, even though production might not say so. I think you cut that in half and you got a more realistic deal, as we'll get into. But of the 2 hypothetically available receivers, who would you rather have? C for Chase Claypool or B for Brandin Cooks? Let me know in the comments. Claypool's production has kind of gone down. Had a decent game out a couple weeks ago, but the issue for Pittsburgh is, do they want to give up on Claypool when he's got 2 years left? They trade him in the offseason, and they want to see what Brandin Cooks or what Kenny Pickett can do. I'm not so sure. Some destinations. The Cowboys, Giants again, Tennessee. The Ravens need receiver help, and maybe nobody needs it more than the Green Bay Packers. So I'll go high value based on what Pittsburgh wants. I'll go 2/3, and that is a Packers getting desperate and Pittsburgh getting a really good package back, just so we're clear. I think Pittsburgh wins that trade. But Green Bay's window is now. It's not going to be in 2 years when Rodgers retires or whenever he calls it a career. You might as well try to win and get some actual talent in your receiving core. And Claypool does fit their typical archetype of height, weight, speed prospects. Today's show, like we mentioned, is made possible by LinkedIn. NFL teams trying to make the right hires via trades. And if you're running your small business, you want to do the exact same thing. So make sure you are using the platform that small businesses rank number 1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. That's LinkedIn Jobs. You want to be 100% certain you have access to the best qualified candidates out there. We use them at Chat Sports, have had some great hires as a result. It's really easy to create your own job post. Heck, they've got simple tools like screening questions to make it easy on focusing on the candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you want to interview and eventually hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That's linkedin.com/NFL Daily. Terms and conditions do apply. We'll put the link in the comments section and the description as well on today's show. Let's go to Isaiah Wynn next up here. He's been linked in trade rumors dating all the way back to the start of this year as he was kind of, sort of in the Belichick coaching staff doghouse. Still not sure who actually calls the plays, by the way. Is it Patricia? Is it Bill himself? Is it Judge? It's kind of weird. They're all kind of involved a little bit there. Wynn was a left tackle, then went over to the right side, which I found curious. He had a rough game a couple weeks ago, kind of dropped his pass block grade down a lot. He has been better in the past. Maybe shouldn't have switched sides. The nice part about Isaiah Wynn, he's played left tackle, right tackle, and there are many NFL teams who think he can play guard. So, almost no limit on the potential destinations. The Bucs need offensive line help. Tennessee does too. Miami, the Raiders, and I would not sleep on the LA Chargers for a trade this year. They are trying to win right now with Justin Herbert being cheap. Isaiah Wynn could slot in at left tackle with Rashawn Slater out for the year. Then you could pay Isaiah Wynn. Maybe keep him at right tackle if you want to, or allow him to walk in free agency. 4th round pick might be a little bit high, but he's a starting caliber lineman, and those guys are very tough to find. We are inside of a week to go on the NFL trade deadline, and we will be live for you guys, so make sure you are subbed. Make sure the notifications are turned on. Daily videos, live shows on Tuesday, possibly Monday as well. Hit that red or black and white now, YouTube's making some changes, button right now. Defense. Let's go to defense back-to-back here to finish up, actually. Daron Payne, he's been linked pretty heavily in NFL trade rumors. The alleged trade value is a day 2 pick. I think that's fair for Payne. The Commanders got a pretty big win over Green Bay, and that might buy them enough time for Ron Rivera to not have to sell. But if they're not going to pay Daron Payne, I think they should trade him. I really do. He's had a very good year so far, approaching career highs already in TFLs and in sacks. Some potential destinations. Minnesota. There's LA again. The Falcons and Bengals. I love those fits. But if the Browns want to try to rally down the stretch this year, Daron Payne is the way to go. It would be a bit of a surprise. I think we're going to have to get hot and feel good about their chances when Watson comes back, or they want to pay Daron Payne too. 3rd round pick, I think, is the low-end value here. I don't think anyone needs a defensive tackle right now more than Cleveland. That's why I picked them. They also might not be good enough to be buyers, to be fair. I got one more trade candidate plus an idea, so I want to hear from you. In the meantime, put your trade ideas in the comments section. The New Orleans Saints, who I do think erred being so aggressive in their philosophy this year. They should have taken the tank years a little bit. Marcus Davenport is in the last year of his contract, but he's super cheap this year, and that would make him a very appetizing fit for any team that needs a pass rusher. Now, his production this year has kind of fallen back. He's been up and down over his NFL career, never that consistent despite playing opposite of Cam Jordan. But there are many teams who need pass rush help. Arizona. Seattle's a dark horse, folks. They got draft capital and could win the division. That's weird to say out loud. The Ravens, the Rams, and the Chiefs. We did see Robert Quinn, a rental, who's older and coming off a not-so-great year, go for a 4th. But because Davenport is younger, I think he's got a little bit higher trade value. I think he's had more pressures, I believe, this year too. Here's my trade idea, and it might be too high, but the Saints could have a high bargain here. 2023 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. I might be too high, but the Saints are not ever sellers. I think they'd have a high asking price. Chiefs get Davenport. There could be, with not that many edges left on the trade market now, by holding and waiting, there could be a bit of a bidding war for the top edges on the block.